You're not here by chance. You're here by divine appointment. And I say that to our viewing audience. You tuned in at this moment because there's something here for you. And as we come together in community, we acknowledge our theme for the month is the biology of belief, that thoughts are things, words are molds. Where thought goes, energy flows. That which I utter becomes the outer. When we acknowledge that trained thought is far more powerful than untrained thought, we will no longer be at the effect of life. We will come from cause. We will come from the energy of knowingness. We will come from the energy of openness. And that as we are open to our good, and I say this every day, I accept my good and my unexpected good. That I even have an affirmation inside the mailbox so that when the mailman, whose name is Marshall, opens that up, he sees, I accept my good and my unexpected good. Thank you, God. He goes, I just love this. He said, I love that affirmation that on the label that you put in the mailbox. And he said, I shared it with my wife, and then she friended you on Facebook. That's my wife. So he shared what her name was. I said, that is so great. It's wonderful. But as we accept our good and our unexpected good, we are sending a message out to the universe that we are open to receive. And there is a law in the universe. In fact, the book that Deepak Chopra wrote on the 7 spiritual laws of success, the first one is the law of potentiality or unity. That life is this unmanifested stuff, that we direct the energy. We direct the energy to love. We direct the energy to peace. We direct the energy to aliveness and wisdom and the opportunity to go within, to meditate on life's amazing beauty, and to realize that we are in the world, aren't we? We're in the world. We go to the store, we stand in line at the grocery store, wherever we are, at the gas station, and we are in the world. There are certain worldly things that we need to attend to be here. But we are of a higher spiritual essence, a higher spiritual frequency. And when we get that, everything we do is filled with love. And one of my very favorite stories that I adore is there was 3 hermits that came to a village. And they saw this lovely cottage. And they knocked on the door and said, we are very thirsty. May we come in and partake of some water? And the woman of the house said, well, my husband isn't here. And their culture, she couldn't invite men into their home without her husband being present, but he'll be home this afternoon. And they said, fine, we'll wait. So they sat outside. And the husband returned, and she said, there's, 3 hermits outside, and I would like to give them some refreshment. And so she went out, and he went out, and he said, what is your name? And he said, the first hermit said, my name is Love. What a wonderful name. And what is your name? And the second hermit said, my name is Good Fortune. Ah, very nice. And the third hermit, he said, what is your name? He said, my name is Success. But you must choose one of us to come in first. He said, oh, we will deliberate on this within the family unit. So he went inside, and there was his daughter and his wife, and he said, Love, Good Fortune, and Success want to come in. Which one do we choose first? And the wife said, oh, let us choose Good Fortune. It's time. You've worked so hard, so many years. Let us choose Good Fortune. We are open to good fortune. I said, I was thinking more in lines of success. I am a merchant. I go into the village. I sell my wares. I was thinking more of success. And they turned to the daughter. And she said, oh, I feel we should invite love. Love is such a beautiful energy. And without love in our hearts, we wouldn't really have each other. So he went out, and they had decided they would listen to their daughter. And he said, we will have love come in first. And so as the hermit rose and went in to their beloved home, Good Fortune went in, Success went in. He said, I thought I could only have one of you in. He said, if you choose love, good fortune and success will always follow. So as we choose love, to love what we do and do what we love, good fortune and success will always follow. Because the first law that Deepak Chopra acknowledged was that law of pure potentiality, the law of unity, where it's all unmanifest and we pour our energy into it. To love what we do and do what we love is the greatest combination in life. To have that joy, the joy that passes all understanding on the physical plane. To realize that it's the ground of being in which everything springs forth. The second law is the law of giving. As you give, so shall you receive. But to realize that the greatest joy in the giving is knowing that we will never outgive God. That once we release it, and I loved, what we are having this great annual garage sale. I always give things, if I haven't used them and I really love them, I give them because I know that someone else will love it as much as I did. It's not about our old discards, and it's not about your old moldy pair of shoes you've had in the closet or the garage forever. It's about something that we have valued, that we place value on, and we want to give it to the universe and know that someone else, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but it doesn't have to be trash. It can be the energy that we value. And the law of giving and receiving, as you give, as we open the space to allow God to do what God does best by means of each and every one of us, to realize energetically that we are so blessed and to live from that blessing and to live from gratitude. And as we live from gratitude, we open the space. I love the Gospel According to Peanuts. And it had Snoopy commiserating. He saw Charlie Brown walk by. He saw Lucy walk by. He saw Linus walk by. He saw little Pigpen walk by. And he thought, isn't it interesting that some of us were created as people and some of us were created as dogs? I must ruminate over this. I must look at this. Some of us were created people, and some of us were created dogs. Why should I be the lucky one? And he prances off. Because he loves his life. He loves who he is. Why should I be the lucky one? And of course, dog spelled backwards is God, right? And the energy of love that is there and ever present. So when we acknowledge the law of giving, we go into the law of karma, which is the law of cause and effect. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. But the beginning of that statement, that biblical statement, is, be not deceived. God is not mocked. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. The law of cause and effect. This is not to beat ourselves up when we have contractions or things that happen in our lives that get our attention so that we can go deeper inside ourselves. The New Thought movement has become, people don't want to really say if they're going through something, but if you're going through something, is the time to come so you can get a hand up and be supported in this process called life, because we're all subject to the human condition. Every single one of us. I was reading online, and I had a minister in New York, and she said, everyone will experience the greatness of life and the energy of when it's not so great. Everyone will have life come and kick you in the assets. I'm paraphrasing. And it's all part of the human condition. What are we going to do with these things? It's like many times we ask, why did this happen? But it's not the why it happened. It's, where is this taking me? And when we can figure out where this experience is taking us, the why will come up, it will surface up, and all will be revealed. It's not the why, because the why is being at the effect of it. It's, where is this taking me? And I absolutely love that, because when we have contractions in our lives, we tend to beat ourselves up. But they are so important for us to go within, to be in the silence, and to hear the still small voice of God and what God is saying in us. So the law of karma leads into the law of least resistance. It's like, a bird doesn't try to fly. A flower doesn't try to grow and unfold and bloom. It just does. It's its nature. The law of least resistance is allowing life to do what life does best. It's a divine flow. And it's so interesting because the law of least resistance leads into the law of detachment. And the law of detachment is when we're attached to something happening, we're fearful and we are insecure. And if we're going to plant the seeds, we're not going to go back the next day and dig them up to see how they're doing. We're going to just know that there is a divine plan. We are part of this divine plan. All the seeds that we have planted are part of this divine plan. And as we let it unfold and let God do what God does best, something happens within us. So, yes, the law of detachment, the law of least resistance are kind of similar, because as long as we're looking we're so attached to the result and the outcome, that serves as a block for it to happen. And I love what Patrick said about his 10th anniversary of a kidney cancer diagnosis, and that every July 11th that he celebrates his anniversary, it's a new birthday. It's the birthday, it's 7/11 that allows us to open, and I love numbers, open to something that wasn't there. So it's not why did I have kidney cancer, where is it taking me? And it brought him here to Interfaith Spiritual Center worldwide in this very moment. So when we look at the where it's taking us and the opportunity that we have to grow and unfold, then every day is new. And believe me, I've been in this a lot of years. And there's such a tendency to think, if you're in the ministry, I have just so arrived. Oh, yes. I've so arrived. I'm so above the human condition. That's just an invitation for the universe to say, oh, yeah? We're here because we're here to grow and unfold and evolve. And when I look at the law of pure potentiality, I'm so reminiscent of a story about an elderly carpenter who had worked many, many years wonderfully for an architect firm. And he was ready to retire. And so he went to his superior and he said, to the owner and said, I'm ready to retire. And I'm ready to do it, very soon. He said, well, I have a request. Just build one more house. He goes, okay. So he agreed. But as time went on, he started using shoddy materials and creating shortcuts, and he started creating things that he had never done before, and it was a very sad end to a very productive career. And as he took these shortcuts and he used shoddy, inferior materials, finally he had finished it and he was relieved, and he went to his boss and said, it's finished. He said, great, I'll be out for the inspection. So his boss went through, he inspected it, and then he handed over the keys to the house and said, this last project was for you. I give you the house. You can imagine what went through his mind. If I'd only known I was building it for myself, I would have used superior materials. I would have done things so differently. And what I love about this story is that it's the same in life. Every day, we're building a life. And the minute we, get into that, going through the motions, it doesn't serve us. Even if we're at a lower vibratory frequency in our energy, even if we got up in the morning and we think, I want to be healed of whatever it is I'm going through. Not the why, but where is this taking me? What is it that I need to learn from this experience? That we are building our house. Jesus, who became the Christ, said, destroy this house, and in 3 days, I will build it up again. That there is that within us that is invincible. It is indestructible. It is the energy of life. That at a cellular level, our cells are re-energizing every 7 months. That it's a new body, it's a new day, it's a new earth. So as we begin to see ourselves through the eyes of love and invite love in, good fortune and success follow, because your success makes mine possible. I'm so happy for you as if it happened to me. I love it when you succeed and you have some wonderful thing. I love it when my students are publishing their books, and I've been working on mine for 30 years, right? And they're publishing their books, and they're getting on the New York Times bestsellers list. I said, your success makes mine possible. My success makes yours possible. And that as we are so happy for each other, we create the space within ourselves for our own good. So as we look at all the laws of success and the opportunity that we have that's been given to us every single day of our life, we would not take it for granted that this life is a gift. It is such a gift. And we have the keys to the kingdom. We have the keys to our house. We have built this house. We are not using inferior materials. We are using the energy of going within to meditate, to set the tone of our day, to go out into the world and realize that everyone that we meet, it is a divine appointment. And as we have something to give to each other, we have something to share with each other. So that for every nail that's put into that house, for every panel, for every wall that's built in that house, it is the energy of love. It is the opportunity that we have to build this life in a way that serves ourselves and others. Because if my container of self-love is full, then I don't have anything to give to you. But when it's huge and overflowing, it's going to reach you. And your love is going to reach me. And that when we know it's 6:30 on the evolutionary clock, we attend to our spiritual life, because the only thing that we're going to take with us is what? Our consciousness. Not the Brighton shoes, our consciousness. And when we get it, that we're only taking our consciousness, we want to lighten up. And I've been going through my things. We're having this wonderful sale. Things that I've loved. And I thought, I haven't used this. Someone will just love this energetically. So when I look at the law of attraction and receiving the energy that works for us in our lives, that it's about giving to a purpose larger than ourselves and receiving. It's about planting seeds. It's about giving thanks for our life. It's knowing that there's a cause and effect relationship. It's about we are building our house. We've been given the keys. And as we take the keys and unlock the door, that unlocking is at a heart level that moves into the very chamber, the secret place of the Most High. I would not be in any other way of life. I love this way of life. I love sharing this message with the multitudes. I love going internationally and seeing people get it. You can tell, in their eyes. And it's interesting that Dr. Elizabeth said that when she heard me speak in Oxford in 2008, that she's an MD in Amsterdam. She said, I realized what was possible for me that I'd never realized before, because I'd never heard it in exactly that same way. You never know how your energy is going to affect someone else by just being your own beautiful self. Invite love in, and good fortune and success will follow. I love you. I know where we're going. Do you know? Higher. We are going higher yet. Where are we going? Higher yet. We are going higher yet. And I feel that at the deepest level. God bless you, and namaste.